It's always a party at Patchworks. Let's get this party started. Woot, woot. Hi, everyone. This is Julie from Patchworks, and I am so excited that you're joining us for another Must Sew TV tonight here. We are talking about Tula pink fabric, and this is our December We Heart Tula Pink Club program, and it is our last club program for our 2021 year. So sad. But don't worry, you'll be able to continue the fun. We'll be talking about our FreeSpirit Club that we're going to be offering in 2022. So tonight we're going to talk about a fun fabric pack that I picked. We're going to have a really cool project. And then we are going to talk about some of the things that we've done this year. We'll be talking about some product, some show and tell, and then we'll give you a preview of next year. Tammy's at the keyboard, so if you have any questions, just type away and ask, and she'll let me know. And Frank is behind the computer, and so if he needs to zoom in on something or whatever, we'll see how we can make that happen. I hope you have fun tonight, and thanks so much for joining us. So let's take a peek at the fun fabric pack that we have. So our fabric pack that we have provided for our club members this month, we have 8 fabrics, and it's dealer's choice this month. And so I did a combination of line work, a little bit of Daydreamer, and then some gorgeous mineral. Oh, so yummy. So you could have either gotten the fat eighth or fat quarter packs. If you wanted to jump in and get this curated pack, let us know. And then we made this super cool, look at this, isn't this so cute? So back many years ago, it seems like a lifetime ago, we had something called the 12 Weeks of Christmas, where we showed you a little project every week and did things. And this particular project was inspired by a Thanksgiving dinner that I had been at my aunt's house in Texas for Thanksgiving dinner, and she had a really cool folded star pot holder, and Frank said, wouldn't that be fun to turn into a project? And so we presented this many years ago, and I thought it would be fun to bring back and liven it up with some fun Tula colors. So let's take a peek how we would put this together. So I have some great graphics here to share with you, and Frank's just bringing over the computer for us to look at. Da-da-da. Okay, so, oh my goodness, so you can see the computer. Let's show you this here. I don't know, maybe we show you that. I don't know how to make, okay, so here we go. So, I'm not allowed to touch the controls. Okay, so Frank's helping me out here. All right, so thank you, Frank. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we took our fabric, and this is really great to be scrap friendly. So we started with a 12-inch square of fabric, and then we took that 12-inch square of fabric, and I'll show you how to do that in real life in just a second. And you're going to fold it in half diagonally twice. I don't know if you can see that, but then we pressed it so you get that X there, and that's going to be our marking for our base. Then we're going to be making some prairie points. So then you're going to take your 6-inch squares of fabric, and you're going to need a total of 28 6-inch squares of fabric that you are going to need for your prairie points. So for that, stand in front here, Frank, so you can't see your arm. Okay, this is Comedy Central hour here. All right, so then what you're going to do is you make sure that everything is firmly, nicely starched before you do anything. Then you're going to take your squares, fold them in half, and then you are going to create these little prairie points. Okay, so you're going to take those edges and fold them down. Make sense? Good. So you are going to continue until you have 28 of them. So Frank's going to show you what that looks like. All right, so we have 28 gorgeous, gorgeous prairie points. Then what we're going to do with them is that we're going to start placing them on top of the base, okay? So you're going to take that base that you had and you are going to put them down. And when we're placing them on, what we're going to be doing for the next level, wait, we don't want that one. Well, we're going to show you anyhow. As we're placing them on, we're going to be using our Speedy, okay? And that gives us the 3/4 of an inch away. So we're just layering these things on. And you can choose any color order that you'd like. And so you can see here the citrus, layer 1, layer 2. Then we're going to put some pink on the diagonal first and then straight across. And then we're going to do the same thing with our blue. Isn't that really cool? So we'll keep going around and around. Now what's really important is you can see I have pinned everything down in there, and you want to position them in place. And you can pin and stitch. I like to stitch base a lot of the things to have them hold down nice and secure so they don't move on us. And after we have our base together here, what we're going to do is that we are going to layer it on top of some batting, and maybe if you want to use it for a trivet, for a hot pad on your table. Not only do the batting, but also do some Insulbrite. So do batting and Insulbrite, and then you're going to put your backing on the back side. We layered everything down, and then we hopped ahead to show you that we stitched down, did some quilting on the star points to hold them in. And so what I did is I chose a midpoint around the stars, that we'll see that in real life. And then we're going to start turning it into the circle mat that it is. So you can draw your circle, and then we'll stitch our circle, and then we're going to trim a 1/4 inch around the circle, okay? Then it's time to put some binding on, and we'll talk about that. So we're putting on some single fold bias binding. You always want to use bias, especially when you're having a tight curve of the circle that we have right here. And after it's all done, it looks something like that on the front. And look at that, he's so cute. That's the fussy cut of the back. Super, super cute. And that is our fun project. So now what I'm going to do is Frank hopped out of the frame because he didn't want you to see him. What we're going to do is we're going to look at just a couple of the things of how to make this work. And if you are a club member, you are going to get written instructions for how to make this happen. And if you had any other questions, you can come into the store to check it out. So I'm going to bring over, because really the key is ironing in this. And so what we're going to do is we have a question here before we proceed on. Tammy, what's our question?
Thermore and Insulbrite the same?
The question is, are Thermore and Insulbrite the same thing? So Thermore is a ultra lightweight polyester batting made by Hobbs, and it is great for garments or wall hangings or such. And while it has the words that seem like thermos, it is not intended to be a hot pad item. Insulbrite is the polyester batting that has that foil in it, and then what that is, that foil in it, and so it's just really nice. It is a crinkle sound, but it helps reflect the heat up. And if you're going to be working with really hot things, I always like to use the layer of not only the Insulbrite that has the foil in it, but also cotton batting to protect your hands or your beautiful table. Does that answer your question? Okay, and so great, thanks for asking the questions, and continue to ask more questions along the way. So I have here, I went ahead and I starched my fabric, and I have a 12-inch square in the bottom and a bunch of 6-inch squares that I'm going to turn into prairie points. We're not going to make the whole thing, but I just want to show you the basic part. So I'm going to grab my ironing board to put it underneath the overhead camera, and then we'll just take a quick peek at how some of the basic steps go together, in case if it didn't make sense. So let me not burn myself, that'd be a bad thing. And are we looking overhead, Frank? All right, so I pulled out my handy dandy cushioned square and blocker. And what we're going to do is we're just going to give this square a quick press. And when you have pre-starched everything, the nice thing is that it helps hold the creases a little bit better. Okay, so we are going to press this in half to make an X, okay? Do, 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 do. Of course, you'll want to be a little bit more exacting as you're doing it, and this is your line. If you wanted to draw a line, you can, but I prefer to just press it in. And this is going to be the base of your mat here, okay? So in this case, I used a stripe. You could put some super secret peekaboo in here. Wouldn't that be cute? Little Tula critter in there. And you could stitch that out down, but I just left it open to give you that inspiration that you could use it to have some peekaboo item in there. So this is the X like I talked about, okay? The X. Then for the prairie point, and we'll just make a couple of these so we can see how this is. So we have our nice pressed point. If you wanted to make it bigger, you would make it, if you wanted to go farther rounds out, the squares need to start bigger so that they so you don't have naked space. And I give it a nice press, and you can see if you're using directional fabrics, it absolutely can give you different looks depending on how you fold it. Okay, so I'm not going to torture you with the whole thing. I just want to make a couple here to show you how to go together. And one of the things that I thought would be super cool is to actually have the circle be a color wheel. So, you know, this project is actually a shop owner's delight. And why do I say that? I say that because you're layering all this fabric on to make this little itty bitty thing. And so you need like 85 yards of fabric to make this little 10-inch circle. So maybe not 85, but yeah, if you had the fat quarter size, you'd be using the whole fabric pack. And so that's 2 yards of fabric, and you're also buying binding and a base fabric. So shop owner's delight. But it's really great for your scraps, especially if you're having these guys all be different, right? Okay, so that first positioning on, you are taking your pieces and you're just putting them right in here, okay? Now, in my sample, they were all the same, but there's no reason why they do as long as you have a pattern that you like. And then I'm just going to show you how to position that next one on, right? Has anybody made one of these folded prairie point things? Folded stars? Anyone? So the first one we're going to go is right here, okay? And I said we can use a speedy. So what's a speedy? Well, you could just measure out 3/4 of an inch. But on the Rotary Mate ruler, there are these things in the corner called speedies that are used for different things. And if we put the speedy, this 90-degree angle right there, we're going to back this up right here, and that gives us the perfect positioning. We put that corner here, and then we line up the diagonal with our line. And I would pin it in place. Okay, makes sense. And so pin as much as you need to feel comfortable. You want to make sure that you keep these nice and flat, and I did stitch every way around. Now, in my version 1 back 85 years ago of this, I had all of these start as 10-inch squares so that you layered, and that there wasn't this gap, because you're going to see that you get a gap along the way. You absolutely can do that. Then it is more of a shop owner's delight. I just wanted to preserve your fabric a little bit more and give you the smallest size square to make these folded corners so that you would get the coverage that you'd want. For the quilting, I just took a longer stitch and I used a neutral color thread. I think it'd be super cool to use decorative threads along the way. And then on the back side, you can see that I fussy placed my little stinker, because isn't he stinking cute? And so that's super cool. For our binding, it depends on how thick you make this. So I just used a layer of batting. I don't intend to use this as a hot pad. So I just did a very thin layer of 80/20 in there. And I started with a 2-inch strip of fabric that I used as single fold. That was a little wide. You can see that I roll farther than that 1/4 inch, which is okay. But if you wanted to just do this layer of a single layer of batting like that, I'd probably go with 1.5 inches. That 2 inches gets to be helpful if you are using those extra layers of batting, so that it'd be thicker, if that makes sense. So what do you think? Was that fun? Any questions about that fun little project?
No, lots of people said they've made them, or a couple people said they've always wanted them.
Okay, so Tammy's letting me know that some of you have shared that you've already made one, or that maybe you've always wanted to make one. Now, I'm sure there's 80 million different variations with how you might make that. And you also could make the prairie points and pin them in to a styrofoam ball and turn that into a fun little crafty ornament. That's super cool. You'd use smaller points. I also want to point out that for this, just since we're talking, if you haven't watched us before and don't know how we get this stripe on the diagonal, this was a 1/2 yard of fabric. This is the Tula stripe right here, the tent stripe. And I cut at a 45-degree angle long strips. So there's a fancy way where you can fold up a square and get everything into strips. I literally just cut 2 strips because I knew that's all I needed to work with this. So I needed just shy of 40 inches of bias to go around the edge so that I could join it. And you can use that super exciting circumference geometry formula that you learned back in the day of, what is it, pi r squared. So something like that, or 2 pi r, right? Diameter equals 2 pi r, because it's a diameter. But, or you can just literally measure around with a tape measure or something. And then always make sure you add extra to join. Use a little bit of caution as where you're joining, since you've taken the time to have that stripe. So, all right. Any other questions? All right. So now what I think we should do is should we take a recap and see some of the fun stuff that we've done throughout the year? Does that sound like a fun, exciting thing to do? Yeah. All right. So, if you don't answer, I answer for you. I do that in my head all the time. So do you ever find that, like, you're talking to your spouse and you just start talking on their behalf, and sometimes they're even just sitting there and they're like, what is happening? And you're like, yeah, we're just having a conversation. He's like, I didn't agree to that. I'm like, oh, but you just did. And he's like, no, you made my voice. So Frank's shaking his head tonight. So too much coffee or not enough. So some of the fun things that we did this year, we of course played along and made some of the blocks for Nebula. And I do want to remind you that Julie Herman has some spectacular videos to go along to assist with this. She is leaving open her Nebula Facebook group for, I believe, 2 years, which is super awesome. But all of her videos are on YouTube, and so they won't go away. And so if you need inspiration or help, and I know some of you have just been collecting the fabric, which is just fine, and clearly you are in good company because look, I just have some blocks here. And so we played along with this, and then we also made some fun projects. So we played with fussy cutting, and we made some, and we did some wallpaper piecing here and made a fun binder cover. We took a quilt block and we made a fun project pouch using the Zippity Doo-Dun. You could, of course, use a regular zipper, or you can use the Zippity Doo-Dun. And in here, for both of these projects, we used the by Annie soft and, what is the name of the foam, Frank? Soft and Stable. Okay, and we carry that in store. We were playing around with the fun little cat quilt, which is a free and downloadable pattern off of the FreeSpirit website, as this is. And then this was actually an element off of a quilt from there. We made some more pillows, or a pillow. We made the heart block from a FreeSpirit quilt using a 10 stripe for bias binding to get that cool look. Inserting a zipper using that Zippity Doo-Dun again. Here, oh, this was fun. We made a mug mat and we scaled a pattern down that was a free and downloadable off of the FreeSpirit website. Had fun, did a little serpentine quilt in here, and then I put a little selvage on. And so this is commemorating our year this year. We got in the Curiouser and Curiouser, and so had to play with how you might fussy cut and feature a gorgeous piece of fabric. Love, love, love the pillows. This is from the Sew It Yourself program from FreeSpirit, and we featured some Tula here, including the drippy roses. Played along with doing some quilting on our own, of course using that bias binding. And on the back side, oh, this is like as gorgeous as the front. We did a tuxedo type zipper where we put in a standard YKK or Atkinson designed zipper that we carry in the store. The nice, easy nylon zippers. And of course, we also made this gorgeous, gorgeous Holiday Homies flannel quilt, which is also, whether or not you wanted to make a Christmas quilt for yourself, a great, great pattern to be able to feature big pieces of fabric that you don't want to cut out. Super simple to make and really fun as well. Huh. So I hope you had fun on our journey. We have so much exciting stuff planned for next year. So before we start talking about next year, I want to talk about the fabric that we have now. How does that sound? Oh yes, we have a question.
No, maybe ask a trivia question.
Oh, I need to ask you a trivia question. All right, so you know what? I'm going to ask you a poll question. And the question is, what was your favorite project that we shared in the We Heart Tula program in 2021? And one random winner which will be drawn on Saturday morning, will win one of these amazing prizes. And this amazing prize, oh, I have a good one here. So for all of you Tula lovers, I have a fabulous out of print fabric. Da, da, da. It's a whole fat quarter. Oh my gosh. This is, oh, you know what? This is amazing. So this piece is specially cut. It has the full selvage in it. So this is from Spirit Animal. It is arrowheads. And look, it has all the little bears. So super awesome. You want to make sure you enter. The question is, what was the favorite project that we featured in We Heart Tula Club 2021? I'd love to know and be able to rejoice with you in the fun things. All right. Now what we're going to do is I want to share with you some of the fun fabrics that we do have. Did we get, so I know we talked about Daydreamer, but did we actually have Daydreamer last month? I don't think so. I think it came after club. So if you haven't been able to come in yet, I just wanted to make sure that you could see some of the amazing fabrics in this month's pack. You do get 3 of those diamonds, so diamond patterns. But let's take a peek at the whole line. Okay. So we do have, and I put them in plastic, so it's probably horrible, but we do have the official manufacturer design rolls and 5-inch squares and 10-inch squares. We also have the fat quarter bundles, as well as our half yard and yard cuts. So let's take a peek. I have some gorgeous fabrics here. Ta-da-da. So focus piece here, these amazing flamingos and the little baby shrimpies. Look at the shrimps. Super cool. We have our bird flying away. The little fluffy clouds, which is an ombre. And so it goes selvage to fold, fold to selvage with your coloring, okay, as opposed to selvage ombre. The first of our butterflies, this one is Butterfly Kisses. Ha, and our little jaguar here. And Sundays, get it? Sundays, but it's D-A-Z-E. This one here you get in your pack, and this one is Lucy. Lucy in the skies with diamonds. This is the fruit. And a little jaguar again. Mick Jaguar is the rainbow. The rainbow one is Mick Jaguar. This one is just Lil Jaguar. But I call it Mick Jaguar. This one's Butterfly Kisses again. And then this is a larger scale butterfly, okay? So all the butterflies. And this one is Butterfly Hugs. So this is Butterfly Kisses, and this is Butterfly Hugs. So these would be easier to fussy cut out. The other one is all over. And we have another Lucy. So Lucy's available in 3 colors. The fruit snacks is the forbidden fruit. More fluffy clouds. What's the name of our bird friend here? Let's see here. It is macaw. Macaw you later. Another Sundays. Little clouds. As I'm finishing showing these, Tammy, can you quick grab the wide backs?
Sure.
And then we have Lucy. Look at him, it's so cute. So amazing. And you can see behind here, this background is that really cool print. And then finally, this is Mick Jaguar. So Mick Jaguar is the rainbow. And salvage to salvage there. We have 3 wide backs that come with this collection as well. We have the pineapple, the guava, and the lagoon. And so our little header here is in need of ironing, but it is that really nice sateen, which is so soft and silky and would be perfect for your nebula, for a future quilt, for anything. I was even thinking that if you made one of the quilted jackets, which is all the rage, this would be a fabulous lining because any of these wide backs actually work really well in garments. So that is the yardage that we have available. And then we also have the Pining for You Quilt Kit. And Frank, we have a graphic of this guy, if you want to just share that. And so this is a 72 by 77. The quilt is designed by Tula, and this is available, the pattern's available only in the quilt kit. And the kit is $199.99. And of course, you would get your club discount if you are a club member. We do have a limited number of them available in store. We have a question.
So Paul, I think, would like you to expand more on the quilted jacket.
Oh, okay. So, quilted jackets. So, remember back in the day, we made quilted clothes, and then where you would even like take a sweatshirt and deconstruct it and then attach some fabric to it and then sew it back together, and then you'd have quilted things. And then all of a sudden they kind of fell out of fashion, and everybody said that anybody who wore the quilted coats was like 95 years old, even if we were only half that age. And so now the quilted coats are making a comeback and are actually seen on the runway in the fashion cities, and super exciting. FreeSpirit is issued a challenge that is called the Quilted Coat Challenge that I probably should have been prepared to share with you. They are wanting you to use a specific pattern, which is a downloadable pattern, but I thought it'd be fun just even to start making them. And even like if you had some extra quilt blocks, like some nebula blocks, we could go along and just make a really fun quilted coat. So I'm kind of rambling, but does that kind of talk about what you're thinking about, Flo?
I think so. She's like, wow, I wasn't aware.
So anyhow, but it's really interesting that over the past 12 months, quilted clothes is actually back on the runway, which is just so fabulous. So who knows? Coming to a store near you. Okay. So this is the Daydreamer. We have all of the fabrics in store and online. They make great gifty things, and they're just so, so beautiful. Now, this particular fabric line, Daydreaming, is the basis for an upcoming block of the month that we're going to be doing in 2022, and that is Toes in the Sand. So Frank's going to show you the Toes in the Sand picture, and this is a beautiful club. Tammy's also linking to it our website, which is a link, and we do have spaces available in that. We will be starting it in January, and we are running it as a block of the month. If you already have the original Toes in the Sand pattern, you are able to purchase the fabric kit available separately. If you had wanted to do a monthly option for payment, we absolutely have that available for you as well. If you are an enrolled club member this year, yes, you do receive the club discount off of your subscription, which is absolutely amazing. If we are sending it out afar, you will be charged monthly postage, that's the word. Okay, so that is really exciting. And then if you've been making the nebula, it takes the hex and more ruler. So you already have the ruler, and this is a really well-written pattern. This is its 10th anniversary, which is super hard to believe that the pattern has been around for 10 years. So it's super exciting to be able to participate in that. Julie Herman's going to have her Facebook group as well. And because this is a separate little thing, we might be talking about it in our club next year. However, this is a block of the month that is separate. So we will have some separate exciting information about it, but it will not be part of our FreeSpirit Club officially for next year. Does that make sense? All the clubs, all the things, all the fun. Woot, woot. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, I think this is a really great segue into FreeSpirit Club. So you're right, I'm using the term FreeSpirit Club instead of Tula Club. And why is that? Well, we have so much fun with Tula, but you know, Tula only makes so much fabric every single year. And we thought that it might be fun to expand it to be not only the Tula fabric, but also K fabric and Tim Holtz fabric, and then Victoria Finley Wolf. She's joining FreeSpirit. How exciting is that? And Victoria Finley Wolf, she does a lot with the Cedarburg Quilt Museum. I think she has an exhibit there right now. So let's just take a peek. We just looked at some Tula. You're very familiar with it. We are going to be carrying the True Colors, her solids, line work as a basic. We already have the Tiny Beasts and the Tiny Stripes and Tiny Dots on order, as well as we'll be ordering, well, who knows, whatever else she makes in 2022. So we have Kaif, and I think you all know what Kaif is. So let's look overhead just to peek at, for those of you who aren't familiar. So this just happens to be a nice grouping of fabric. You can unplug the iron. Okay, so we're just going to adjust the camera here for a second. What do you need? So we're looking at some pretty fabric here. We're going to zoom in. Let's zoom in. Absolutely, I'd love to answer some questions.
So, can the Toes in the Sand pattern be purchased separately?
Yes, the Toes in the Sand pattern absolutely can be purchased separately. Let me check while we're talking. So I'm pulling up the computer here to be able to tell you what that price is. I think it's right around $30 for, it's a book actually. Toes in the sand. And it's actually available. Oh, I don't have it listed on, maybe I do. Let me check here. I need to get it. I don't have it on our website because we don't have it in stock quite yet. The book is $29.95, and it will include this beautiful new cover. What other questions do you have for me, Tammy?
So Flo said she signed up for the monthly.
Yes.
Did she get the pattern and the fabric?
So everything's going to start in January, and if you signed up for the monthly on our website, you will be receiving a follow-up subscription email. So you are not going to be getting that pattern quite yet. So you are going to be getting, since the pattern cost more than what the item is, you're actually going to be getting a second bill. So I think, Flo, you're the only person who signed up for the monthly right now.
So will they get their fabric each month?
You'll get your fabric each month, monthly, block by block. Perfect. Any other questions?
Linda's asking about the FreeSpirit stuff.
Okay.
She just said, is this the project for FreeSpirit Club?
It is not the project for FreeSpirit Club. So it is an extra project that is just exciting. Okay, so. Okay, so this is Cafe fabric, and we might be a little shaded here. I don't know. I did something when I hooked the camera up on top where I somehow, I don't know what I did. But anyhow, so this is more muted. You understand how bright it is. Let's bring it over this way. Can you see this better? Okay. So, but this is, you know, Cafe is bright and vibrant and exciting. All right. Then we have, for other fabric, just for styles, just so you can see it, and then we'll talk more about the program itself, okay? As I know we have 8 million questions here, and then this is Tim Holtz. So Tim Holtz is dulled down. This is going to make it look a little bit more dull because it is a little darker here. But it has, so Croc, this is, Warren Croc is a new basic for him. This is also one of his basics where it's like this splatter. And then he's known for this like collage-y stuff. So this is cigar box labels. It's called Beloved. So you have that ephemera look, distressed. Lots of text. So a very different look than a lot of the stuff that we have done before. And as I said, this fabric is designed to have a distressed appearance with printed imperfections in it. So really old-fashioned, antique-y sort of looking stuff. So the thing that we are going to be doing with our program for next year is that next year, for each of the months, we will be sharing with you different designers' packs. So similar, if you follow along with our Moda University, where you offer you several different fabric packs, we'll be offering you several different fabric packs per month where you can choose the designer. Okay? And so if you love Tim Holtz, you can collect Tim Holtz every single month. If you love Cafe, you can collect Cafe every single month. If you love Tula, you can collect Tula every single month. If you want to mix them up, you can do that too. We are jumping from 8 fabrics to 12 fabrics. Now, why in the world would we do that? Well, we're mixing it up, and we thought that 12 might be a more usable number, okay? So if you are choosing the fat quarter option, 12 fat quarters is a fat stack, and fat stacks we use as a quilt starter kit. We have all of these quilts patterns to choose from and to use, and even a whole book that we love that features 12 fat quarters as the starter. So we thought it would be really super fun. Now you will still see some other smaller projects in there that take one block to make a pillow, separate project like that. But we have, with the 12 fat quarters, essentially you have a mini kit every single month. And so that's really, really awesome. We think that you'll enjoy it. If you opt not to participate in the whole club year, you still can take advantage of getting great inspiration from the club meetings that are shared every single month and be inspired by great quilt patterns to be able to jump in on for different projects that inspire you. So we are super excited about that. The other thing too that we're excited about is that we're featuring 12 fat quarters in this club. We're also featuring 12 fat quarters or 12 fabrics in either the fat eighth, fat quarter, half yard, or yard size, or bolt size. And so in our Moda University as well. And so if we are creating 2 projects a month, okay, times 12 months, what is that? 24 projects. So that means if you see a fabric pack this month and you saw a project last month, it's all going to work together. So we're super excited that this is a modular program that's all going to work together, and it's going to make the shop much more shoppable. And also, for those of you that have been playing along with different 12 fat quarters projects, you might even have some great patterns in your stash already that we've shared with you over the years. So we are super, super excited. So I know that was probably really, really lengthy, but Linda, did that answer your question? Hopefully, yes. Let me know if it did not. Tammy, do we have any other questions?
We don't have the patterns in stock currently, right?
So are we talking toes in the sand?
Yeah.
Okay, we do not have toes in the sand in stock right now. We have them on order, and I'm thinking we should have them soon, very soon. So does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Then let us talk about another exciting thing that I just heard about, and that is something we've been waiting for, and we will be using this throughout our FreeSpirit Club. However, it is not an included item, and that is the butterfly quilt. Frank, pull up the picture of that. So I am super excited. They have put up pre-orders at our distributor for the Butterfly Quilt 2.0. And what I think will be super fun is that you can, of course, create this beautiful quilt in vibrant Tula colors. And we will have kits available here. We will be pulling some great rainbow colors in our different Tula packs that will help complement this. If you're interested in a kit, we can create one of those for you as well. I also think this pattern is super exciting because it's a sampler pattern, and we could just have a sampler in Cave for it. You could make it in Tim Holtz. You could make it in somebody else. So the Butterfly Quilt is a great pattern. We have it on our website if you are able to find it. It is not orderable on our website right now because we don't have any stock in there. So let Tammy know if you needed to pre-order it right now, but we will be having it in stock. And we have 2 questions.
What is the size of the butterfly quilt?
The size of the butterfly quilt, I thought I wrote it down, is, I don't have it in front of me. Okay, so I believe it's like,
And then is it the original? So Jean has the original pattern. Is it the same?
so good question. I do not have a copy of version 2. I believe it is incredibly similar, but I'm not sure. And there might be improved instructions on it. So we'll be able to share it with you, and I would assume you would be able to use your original pattern, and just we could provide you with some color modifications if you wanted to change how you put it together. And
88 by 94.
I'm sorry?
88 by 94.
So the size is 88 by 94, and the pattern cost is $28. The pattern is not going to be included in the club because we didn't want to inflate the cost of the club, and we knew that there were some of you that wanted to make the quilt without joining the club, some of you that wanted to join the club, not make the quilt, some of you that already had version 1 pattern, oh, just all the things. So we kept the price of the pattern out of it, okay? But I think that the quilt is really exciting and a really great skill builder. That is a Tula pattern, and we will have it available here. We already have ours on order, and so they're saying they should ship before the end of the calendar year. So, super exciting. Any other immediate questions?
Is the Butterfly Quilt a club?
So the Butterfly Quilt is not its own separate club. We will be sharing parts of the Butterfly Club in the FreeSpirit Club, similar to how in our Tula Club we shared some nebula, but it was not what the Tula Club was all about. Does that make sense? Okay, yes.
Sorry.
That's all right. So, all right. So we talked about the Butterfly Quilt. We talked about Toes in the Sand. So Toes in the Sand is going to be its own separate entity because I had our fingers and toes crossed. Get it? Toes crossed? That the Butterfly Quilt was going to be available. So it's going to be its own separate entity. Butterfly Quilt will make appearance in the FreeSpirit Club. We are having our FreeSpirit Club include designers like Tim Holtz, Tula Pink, Kay Fassett, and Victoria Findlay Wolf. Okay.
Is there going to be one big project for FreeSpirit Club?
So is there going to be one big project for FreeSpirit Club? The closest thing would be the Butterfly Quilt. That will be the closest thing to the big project. That project is not included, just like the Nebula Quilt was not included in your Tula Club membership. Does that make sense? Okay, great. And feel free to continue to ask questions. We have annual pricing as well as monthly pricing. You do save on your annual pricing. You save 20% on the pack price. So if you're able to swing it, the annual does make a little bit better sense. But for your budgetary needs, we are more than happy to provide monthly subscriptions. So just let us know if you need monthly subscription setup. We are super excited. We're excited for a great, exciting year. So now what we're going to do, oh, we have another question before we have to show and tell. And yes, Tammy.
Butterfly fabric will be included in the FreeSpirit Club?
So the FreeSpirit Club is 12 curated fabrics every single month, available from separate designers. I am certain you'd be able to create a gorgeous butterfly quilt, the components of it from the contents of the club, even at the even at the fat eighth level. However, the club is designed as fabrics for independent projects. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope it does. Okay, so, all right. So now let's take a peek at some show and tell for things that you've been working on, and then we can field any additional questions before we sign off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over by Frank to take a peek at the show and tell that we have to share with you. So the first thing is I just have to share this particular project. So this is Sandra. She had made this gorgeous quilt like we had hanging in the store, strip quilt. Oh, so pretty. So proud of you that you got that done. She didn't want to post it to our Facebook group, and I'm so happy you did. So great job, Sandra. Carol made this gorgeous table runner featuring Cafe fabric. And so you can see some of the great things that you can do just by framing out some beautiful large-scale fabric. Sarah's been playing with some English paper piecing. Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. I love how you fussy cut that panda. Sally is finishing up or working on her nebula, and I love, love, love this custom frame, your finish that you've given to it with this really cool pop of colors that are appearing randomly in your diamonds on the outside. So that is just super spectacular, and I love, love, love your original finishing setting that you've created. Deb made a really cool fall Kim Schaefer either wall hanging or table topper. It is super cool. Great work on your applique, and that log cabin is just stunning. Sarah shared another one of the fantastic paper piecing designs that she made, and that is using a little stinker. So cute. Cute, cute, cute. And one last nod to fall here. Sandra made a banner just like we did hanging outside. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And Jessica, oh, look at this. So this, I believe, is all hand pieced. Absolutely stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I remember helping pick out the fabrics for this. This was absolutely amazing. Great job. Keep up the amazing work. So we are going to do a drawing for our show and tell showers. Before I do that, do we have any other questions, Tammy? We probably have a lot.
For the FreeSpirit Club, if they want to do monthly, they can contact the store for that?
Yes, if you want to do monthly FreeSpirit Club, let us know. The link on the website wasn't working quite right. I can send you a direct checkout link that works beautifully. However, we're waiting for our developer to get back to actually show it on a page for us. So just let us know, and we'd gladly just let us know the size. We have it available in fat eighth, fat quarter, half yard, and full yard increments. And then when you're contacting us, let us know if you are going to need it shipped or not. Any other questions, Tammy? All right. So continue to let us know your questions either in the comments, send us a message, send me an email, give us a call. We have lots of great ideas and excitement for this coming year. We hope you're super excited. I really appreciate and enjoy the journey that you have shared with us. We have some great programs coming up this month of December. So even if you're only a member of We Heart Tula Club, make sure to watch us every Thursday night because we have great content for great inspiration and great stuff. Also, make sure that you join our patchwork party to be able to see and share show and tell. I only asked one trivia question. Okay, I need to ask a second trivia question because I have a lot of presents, a lot of prizes. So we actually have 2 more prezzies. So I will, from question number 2, I will draw 2 winners, okay? So the next trivia question is, what is Frank, what's the name of the question? Oh, he was going to do something. So what's the name? What's the official name of the fabric? Okay, what's the official name of the fabric that we used on the back of the trivet? What is the official name of this fabric? Okay, so not just what is this animal, what's the official name on the selvage for this fabric? Ha. All right. So 2 people will be randomly drawn on Saturday, and you'll get some fun little Tula scraps here. And we have a super exciting piece of fabric here, and this is an out of print, gorgeous Tula print that is a tonal. Ooh, it's a melon color. Da, da, da. It's gorgeous. So, and it's from Spirit Animal. The particular piece of fabric, so not line work. What is this SKU called? So like this fabric is known as Lucy. What is the name of this print? Okay, gotta do a little research. So this Spirit Animal print is super cute. And you can also replay the video because I said it a couple times. So think lucky if you gave us some show and tell. Always make sure you send us some show and tell. We can't include absolutely everything, but we try to include some stuff. And congratulations, Carol. So we have this gorgeous piece of fabric here for you. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I hope you enjoyed our program, put up with our crazy antics. We are here Tuesday through Saturday. Thanks for joining us. Happy quilting, and we'll see you soon.